These magnificent Sequoia giganteas that can be thousands of years old need something counterintuitive for them to thrive. We generally recoil at the sight of burned forests, pine, fir, cedar, and so forth. But giant sequoias need fire to burn off the undergrowth, as their seeds will only sprout in sunlight. The grizzly giant Sequoia gigantea, sounds redundant, is evidence of being, well, highly fire resistant. Well, right next to the famed grizzly giant, majestic in its splendor, stands, well, a not-so-giant sequoia that's, shall we say, an up-and-comer. One of the rare ones that happen to sprout. Think of all the thousands of cones a Sequoia gigantea will drop to the ground. So very few turn into new growth. Nope, not these, but that. To be sure, the new and young sprouters, relatively new, are few and far between when it comes to the parent tree or host tree. This one's got a little ways to go. Well, even though not as many Sequoia giganteas grow as youngsters, or getting to be medium-sters, here's a new grove underway of these awesome, awesome trees. Truly majestic, absolutely breathtaking, and inspirational. Clearing out old timber is part of modern-day forest management to thin these things out. You can see the slag here. Controlled burns, selective harvesting opens up not just the ground, but the canopy. Forest management in action. Truck the dead stuff away. Controlled burning is part of new fire suppression strategy. You start little fires to prevent the understory and the brush under the trees from getting too clogged, providing too much fuel when real wildfires happen. Because of these fire suppression efforts over the last 50 years near the Mariposa Grove of Sequoia giganteas in Yosemite, the Washburn fire, which broke out in 2022, was able to be stopped and suppressed before it endangered the gigantic sequoias in Yosemite's Mariposa Grove. Now, controlled burns in Yosemite, especially in Yosemite Valley, didn't start with National Park Service forest management techniques. It started with the Yawanich Indians who inhabited the valley and would set periodic burns to keep the pines and the conifers and the cedars down so that their black oaks for foodstuffs, primary staple, would be abundant. Take care of part of the daily diet. Of course, as fate has it, leave it to the gold rush and then the influx of white settlers and other such folk who decided, you know, we're gonna have fires of a different kind in Yosemite Valley. We're gonna burn those folks that basically lived here forever out of their homes and, well, take it for us. Well, you don't see it now, but once upon a time, right there stood some very prominent people. How about Teddy Roosevelt, John Muir among them? Now, these were folks who had vision about conservation and preservation of natural resources instead of exploitation and ruination. Now there's a concept for some of today's political folks.